So if you do have a job when you sit down a lot and you get home, try not to sit down. I get it, you want to watch TV, you're not going to do that standing up. But again, it's not about what you do in a day, it's about what you do over a week, it's about what you do over a month, it's about what you do over a year. So if all of a sudden you do think, man, my ass is getting too much action here, give your feet some love and then all your body parts will start to adore you. Simon of the Board A-hole here, and Saturday is now list day. I don't have a funky rhyme for that yet if you watch my videos on Sunday, but not everything needs a catchphrase. It is a little bit of a different one today. Usually it's just me ranting and raving about stupid things that happen in the gym, but I stumbled across an article the other day that talked about gym myths that were destroyed by science, and I was like, wait a minute, this could be good information to send out there into the fitness palace of love, also known as gym, also known as YouTube fitness. I don't even know what I'm talking about, so I thought we could destroy some of these myths right now and hopefully stop you from doing them, because my word, there are loads of them out there. So yeah, this is 10 stupid gym myths, unproven or disproved or not real, courtesy of science. I'm an idiot. Number 10 is that it's normal to exercise. Now this is a little interesting one to start on, but it kind of ties into something I've talked about a lot, so I thought, hey man, I can use that and throw it out here, because we are actually more active as a species now than we used to be, I don't know, thousands of years ago, whenever it would be. Back then, you would only do physical exercise or move basically for two reasons. Because you had to, because you were trying to, I don't know, hunt down some animal to kill and eat it, or two, here's the big one, because it was rewarding. But yeah, nobody in the Stone Age was like going to an exercise class or lifting a bunch of weights, because that just wasn't in their chemical makeup. However, if they enjoyed doing something, they did do it anyway, because they probably enjoyed the endorphin rush they got. But of course, also, what is the meaning of life? To find ways to be happy. And this is what I'm always talking about when it comes to the gym. So many people try and send this message out here, so it is a myth, saying, oh, you must lift weights if you want to get big, or you got to do cardio if you want to lose weight, blah, blah, blah. That is not going to work. If you hate lifting weights, right, if you hate that process and you try and force yourself through it, you're never going to want to go. Eventually you're going to get fed up, and eventually you will stop going and you won't achieve any of your goals. But if you find a different way to do that, be it through, I don't know, MMA, boxing, wrestling, mountain climbing, cycling, whatever the hell it could be, taking the television and throwing up and catching it because you think that's cool, because like, oh my gosh, I may break the TV. Whatever works for you is what you have to do. And if our ancestors will go with, we're doing it for that, and they're the most basic, it's a bit of an unfair word, but you know what I'm saying here, there must be something to it. So please, never feel like you have to push yourself through something you hate. That is not what fitness or health or gymming is all about. It's about finding what works for you and then retroactively fitting that around what you want to get achieved. Number 9 is that if you avoid exerting yourself, it means you're lazy. Now this one is fascinating too, and once again takes a nod to the past. And the great example they used in the article I read, they were like, when you see an elevator or you see some stairs, you're like, well, I'm going to take the elevator because I don't want to use the stairs because I can't be bothered, because yes, I'm a lazy fiend. But when you do travel back to the past, they would have taken the elevator should they were able to. They weren't, because obviously lifts didn't exist. But then it was more about, I only have a certain amount of calories I'm able to get, because again, I'm hunting my own food. So I'm only going to use them up when I absolutely have to. So sitting on the floor or sitting on your ass playing Nintendo was actually considered a smart and fun thing to do. Well, not fun thing, but a smart thing to do, because you didn't want to use up your energy units. So essentially, they were in an RPG. And really, that comes down to the fact that today we are using all our own energy up for things that we don't need to do. Think of all the unnecessary things that we do today that they wouldn't have done back then, but they've become necessities because society has evolved and society has changed. Even going to lift weights doesn't really have an end goal apart from the fact you look jacked and you look great, but you do it for those two reasons. But yeah, exertion was seen as needless, so deep down somewhere in our subconscious, we are programmed to try and avoid it. And I thought that was kind of crazy, and also goes to prove that sometimes when you just don't want to go to the fitness palace of love, it's your brain from thousands of years ago, I'm just going to say, no, I don't want to, why have we done this? I want to go back to stabbing a rabbit in the face. But that's why you should go, because do you want to stab a rabbit in the face? I don't. I like rabbits. They're really cute. Number 8 is sitting is the new smoking. Now, I've never heard this one before, but apparently there are some studies out there that say because we sit too much with our office jobs and everything else that we do, that it's become as bad for us as smoking. I don't get this one. But of course, when you smoke, it goes into your lungs, and that's bad for your health. And sitting too much and not doing physical things is also bad for you. Now, look, I understand the correlation to a point, but if someone said to me, hey, Simon, do you want to put this smoke in your lungs? Or hey, Simon, do you want to sit here for for a day, I'd be like, man, pull up that chair and somebody call Roman Reigns. This, of course, ties into the fact that people then did more studies to see what you should be doing when you're sitting. And incredibly, if you sit down for an hour, this is okay, as long as you get up and walked around once every 10 to 15 minutes. So say it's 10 a.m. in the morning, at 10:15, you go for a walk, you sit down, then at 35, 55, whatever the hell it would be. And if you do that, scientists have actually found a link to all of a sudden your metabolism going, oh, I better wake up and do something. So I suppose you're going to be processing food better, and yes, you'll be burning a teeny little bit more calories. And mostly it comes down to moderation and balance, right? So if you do have a job when you sit down a lot and you get home, try not to sit down. I get it, you want to watch TV, you're not going to do that standing up. But again, it's not about what you do in a day, it's about what you do over a week, it's about what you do over a month, it's about what you do over a year. So if all of a sudden you do think, man, my ass is getting too much action here, give your feet some love, and then all your body parts will start to adore you. Number 7 is that our ancestors were also hard-working, strong folk. This comes back down to the idea that society has become so civilized, I suppose, or so lazy, I guess is the word we're going with, and that back in the day, I call it, like I'm talking about the 20s, but that back in the day, hunter-gatherers were roaming around the place going, oh man, I'm never going to stop because nothing's going to get in my way. But actually, they only kind of hunted for like 2 to 3 hours a day. Let's say they slept for 8 hours, so that is a long-ass time where they just shrugged their shoulders and probably had sex. I don't know if that's true, I'm just saying it. So really what we're learning here is that it's not necessarily normal to be ultra fit or ultra strong. Now, it is super cool and it is super badass, but once again, this would explain why sometimes we fight ourselves about not wanting to get in shape, because it's not really hardwired in us. I don't really know who the first person to pick up a weight was and go, oh my gosh, look at my bicep and my bicep vein. All of a sudden, my confidence is through the roof, but my word, am I thankful that they did. Number 5 is that you can't lose weight walking. I mean, this stuff is just ridiculous, right? It all comes down to calories in and calories out. Yes, you are more likely to lose weight if you focus on your diet than the exercise you are doing, right? Because if you're eating pizzas and burgers and you're going for a 10-minute walk, you ain't doing nothing, brother. But if you eat one broccoli a day and you just sit down, you're going to lose weight. You just are. That's just how it works. But that doesn't mean that you can't go for a walk, right? The whole idea of 10,000 steps was just to encourage people to get out there more and give them a vague number for them to reach to. Because again, how much better do you feel when you go into the gym and you know this is exactly what I've got to do today, right? You've got a plan, you've got a focus, and in order to get there, you don't get distracted. If I just said go for a walk, how long? Just go for a walk. You go around the block 10 minutes, you'll come back. If I say make sure you get 10,000 steps in, you buy a fitness watch, you do it on your phone, you're constantly checking, well, what am I up to now? What am I up to now? And when you hit your 10,000, you get that rush inside you, I've done it. It's going to be difficult to lose a tremendous amount of weight if you're just walking, but if your diet is in check, of course you can. Cardio is cardio. This is cardio, right? This is me using things I have to throw Gerald the fitness mascot up in the air. It's going to take a lot of throwing if I want to burn anything of any significant note, but if your diet is in check and you just want to go for a walk, that is fine when it comes to exercise. But you know what you look like and you know how you adjust to these things. Just be honest with yourself and do understand that at some point you're going to have to be a bit more intense because your body will always catch up with you. Number 4 is that running will wear out your knees. This is all going to come down to who you are as a person. If you go on any kind of runner's website right now, especially ones with forums, you will just see hundreds and hundreds of posts of people saying, running wrecked my knees, running outside wrecked my knees, treadmill wrecked my knees. It's going to happen, right? It's going to be a risk, but your body isn't designed not to try and bounce back from this stuff. It's not like you wear it out. I mean, you can wear it out, of course you can, but if you get an injury, you need to rehab it, you need to recover, and then you can get back doing what you want to do, in this case, running. There's also plenty of studies out there that say actually keeping your knees active in this sense improves them. It improves the joints, it improves the cartilage, it improves everything else. So really, it's the luck of the draw. You're going to toss a coin and you're going to see where you end up. Or you just need to learn how to run properly. How many people do you know that have just put on their regular trainers and then they go running around the park? Which is really good because they're trying to improve their lives, but you wouldn't let somebody walk into the gym the first time without a little bit of knowledge. And there is a way to run and there is a specific shoe that you need to wear. So if you are super duper worried that you're going to wreck your legs, do some research, do some educating. I'm not your guy for that because I hate running. I know nothing about it, but I do know that I have fallen into that trap before, especially when the pandemic hit and my cross trainer that I used broke and nobody could get me a new one. I started going running and within a week my legs were shot because I wasn't doing it right. Number 4 is that it's normal to be less active as we age. We talked about this sort of video we did the other week. It's just not true. It's nonsense. And to tie it into the hunter-gatherers again, there is some information out there that shows they would live into their 70s And they would still be running around trying to kill that rabbit, because again, if they didn't, they were going to die from hunger. And there's other stuff that you can read out there that says the reason humans kind of evolved to be grandmothers and grandfathers is because we wanted to provide for our children and grandchildren. So that was our brain or whatever going, oh my gosh, I need to do this, I need to do this. So it's finding a way to prolong our lives, and a good way to do that, you will be shocked to hear, is to stay active and to stay motivated and to stay in the gym. In fact, staying stimulated not only convinces your body to keep repairing yourself, but it also sort of convinces it to enter a maintenance status where it's like, okay, well, I can't repair and move up as fast as I used to, but I'll do as best as I can because I got to provide for these kids. Survival instinct is pretty damn strong. Number 3 is that there is an optimal type of exercise. So I'm sure you would have seen it in loads of places that medical boards around the world recommend that you do about 150 minutes of exercise a week, right? Again, ties into the 10,000 steps, and it's really good to have a number in your head, but this may be enough for you. It may not be enough for you. There is no perfect answer, and nobody wants to hear this. It's why when you buy Men's Health and you find Chris Hemsworth workout and you do every single thing perfectly and you follow his diet to the letter and you look at yourself and you're like a blob, it's because whatever he was doing wasn't working for you. And I know that sucks, and I know you don't want to hear it. I didn't want to hear it either, but very sadly, it's the truth. I mean, if you have found a program where you only need to do a certain amount of time a week and that is rewarding you or getting you the results that you want, maybe if you did do more, you wouldn't actually be getting anything extra on top of that, so it'd be an absolutely waste of time. Maybe you get to the point where you're just overtraining naturally because that's all your body can take. It's trial and error, people. It's trial and error. Number 2 is just to tell yourself to do it. And this ties into the whole smoking thing again, or at least it did from what I read. If you go up to a smoker and go, just don't do it, they ain't going to stop magically smoking. And if you go up to someone that really doesn't want to work out and go, just go work out, they ain't going to go to the gym. But this is why everybody is trying to sell fitness to you. Whether it's infomercials or supplements or some kind of magic pill, that's what they're trying to do. That's why 5-minute abs was so appealing to so many people. That, wait a minute, well, I'd like abs, but I don't want to put the work in to get the abs, and I'd rather watch television, but you're telling me I can do it in 5 minutes? That sounds far better than a year or a lifetime program that I have to dedicate myself to. I'm just going to believe this. And while you want to ignore that, you do have to find your dangling carrot. And that can be going to the gym with friends. That can be going to a class that you really enjoy. That can be promising yourself a night treat at the weekend, as long as you bust your ass for 6.5 days. But you do need something more than the Nike slogan of just do it, which is kind of ironic because that's what Nike is telling you to do. And they have made a billion-dollar company off the back of it, but it's going to help you for 10 days. And you're going to buy those Nike shoes, and those Nike shoes are going to be in the corner, and you're going to be eating Cheetos. Number 1 is that exercise is a magic bullet. And this comes down to the fact that fitness, health, and exercise is sold as if it's a medicine. I've literally taken that from the article I did read, but I thought that was so poetic and so beautiful. And it's true. How many things do you hear or do you see or even convince yourself in your own head that you're going to get yourself into the perfect shape, you're going to look amazing, and then all of a sudden all your problems are going to go away? Maybe 25% of your problems will go away, but that's not how it works. You need to find happiness within. And that sounds all hippie trippy, but it's true. It's like if you're going to be rich, sure, that rich problem, the money problem goes away, but you're going to have all your other problems. You've become famous. Great, now you've achieved that, but what about all the other things? It's not how it works. It's why you hear all these terrible, awful stories about celebrities committing suicide, because they were never able to, I suppose, address the issues and problems that they were happening internally, and fame, celebrity, money, and whatever else they had wasn't enough to balance them out. And fitness isn't either. You should absolutely bring it into your life and hold on to it, because it will make you feel better in other areas, but don't make it the be-all and end-all, right? It just isn't. And I don't want anyone to tell you otherwise, because you are just going to be disappointed, and I don't want that for you. It doesn't mean you shouldn't do it either, because again, it is going to keep you healthy, and some form of exercise can even starve off disease, and nobody wants to get ill. But everything in moderation, everything in balance. I love the gym. It's my favorite place to go, but I understand to have depth and to be a well-rounded individual, I just need more in my life. So there you go. You hear this stuff all the time. It's all myths. It's all gibberish. And this was based on science. And this was based on studies. So we can't argue it anymore. And then like the video, share the video, and subscribe. There's a bell right there. Give it a click. Ding, ding, ding. And then you know when the notifications are going off, and you'll be notified when videos go live. There is another video right there. Please do give it a click. The Power 13 cookbook is out now. Look, it's talking about sustainability, healthy recipes to make you do that. Link in the description, Simon15 for 15% off. Patreon.com/Simon316. Brand new merchandise at SimonMillerBigCartel.com. Otherwise, at Simon316 on Instagram and Twitter. But more importantly, I thank you for joining me here on this Saturday or whatever day you watched it, and I'll see you on the next one.